welcome to New and In Between, hosted by me, Mia Quinn Maddox, where I'll be discussing the hows and whys to my journey towards my faith. I've learned through my highs and lows that this path is not mine to travel alone. Join me mid-journey as I embrace my wins, losses, and everything in between. Hello, everyone. Welcome to New and In Between. I'm your host, Mia Quinn Maddox, and welcome to my podcast. Welcome, everyone. So, if you have made it to this episode, that means that you are part of my celebration of my year anniversary. This is my year anniversary. I've been podcasting now for one whole year. I'm excited. Three seasons, one whole year. It has been an amazing journey. I have learned so much. I have gained. I have lost. I have seen my prayers answered. I have seen, I've seen some prayers not answered and gotten the reason why. This has been the most amazing journey. I'm so excited. So I'm going to share with you some of my recap moments that I felt were near and dear to me, or ones that just resonated with me, or ones that there were so many. There were so many that were so good. It was hard for me to decide, but this is just my real thank you to everybody who has given me their time, who has poured into this cup. My sister, my nephews, Tanya, Tim, Cyrus. I've lost some friends, and when I mean lost, like lost to death. Rest in peace, Shimmy. He was supposed to be a guest. He was my first guest to cancel, and my first lesson in having peace and being able to pivot. So rest in peace, Shimmy. And thank you for that lesson. But yeah, so we're here. I am here. I've been able to utilize a lot of my resources and go back to old friends and, have friends refer me to their friends. And I've had some of the most amazing guests, and we've had some really great conversations, and I'm just beyond grateful. So, we're going to just go through some of the episodes, and I'm going to just, talk about what I felt at that time, or how it helped me, or, maybe what happened afterwards. But this is my I'm grateful episode. I'm so excited, like so excited, so excited. Like so excited. I can't believe that I really done this for a year. Like a whole year. I've been consistent. It's been hard, but I've gotten through, and I'm very proud of myself. So pat on the back, Mia, because sometimes we don't pat ourselves on the back. Like, I know what I've been through this whole year, and I know that there was times that I wanted to give up, or I thought that I was not going to this is too much. But I pushed through all the time, thank God. And I'm here at a year. So 1 year down and so many more to go. So let's get to it. Let's start with some of my favorite moments. This is really inspired by one of my favorite TV shows is Martin. And Martin would do these recap episodes where either Gina or Martin would host, and they would go back and talk about their favorite moments. And he also had a show on here called Word on the Street. So I think that this is like my word on the street. So I'm just going to recap. This is where the idea came from me. So I'm going to talk about these some of the moments, and then you will see that moment. Not all, but some. So enjoy, and make sure you click like and subscribe. It's important. I need that. Click like and subscribe. Let me know how you feel. Let me know if you guys got ideas, suggestions for hosts. Not for hosts. I'm the host, but co-host maybe. You never know. Conversations are always great, and I love to talk to people. So Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let me get all my notes. So season 1, episode 5. My guest was my good friend Sharon Lyons. Sharon that I went to a high school with, John Dewey High School, and she was my guest. And the title of the episode was "Thank You for Being a Friend." And Sharon is one of my longtime friends. She is one of my biggest cheerleaders. No matter what I do, when I started my consignment store, when I wanted to work in film and television, when I started this podcast, she's always been a cheerleader for me. She's always supported me. She's always encouraged me. She's always showed up. So it was only right that I had Sharon here. A lot of the influence that I got was from her, and she led me into a Bible study group during the pandemic that was life changing. So I had to have Sharon on. So Sharon, this clip that I'm gonna show next for Sharon was about friend breakups, and she spoke about just how she would, you hold on to these friendships because you feel like you've had them for so long. Oh, this is my friend for 20 years, or this is my friend for this many years. And you know that the friendship has ended, but you still hold on and allow yourself to get hurt and, go through situations that aren't really good for yourself. So we spoke about, just her friend breakups, my friend breakups. I'm more of a harsh, you know, all right, that's it. Cut off, cut off, cut off. She's more, she's a lot more empathetic and caring towards how she goes about, ending her friendships. But it also comes from the faith that she has. I'm learning that now, so it's different for me now, but back then it was like I was the cutoff queen. So we spoke about just friend breakups. It's almost as serious. I mean, it's not almost, but it is as serious as like a relationship breakup. You've been friends with someone for so long, you've shared so many moments, they know all your business, you know all their business, you probably know each other's children, deepest secrets and all kind of things. And whatever happens to cause the friendship to end, it's still it's a process, and it's hurtful. And we spoke about just grieving the friendship and how real it is. Friend breakups are serious. And when we put up some of the clips on Instagram, I got a lot of comments about people who were like, yeah, friend breakups are, they're traumatic. Sometimes, I mean, imagine you're friends with someone from kindergarten, and you've grown up together, you've shared every moment of your lives together, then to, break apart and not be friends anymore. It has to be a terrible thing. So it was a great conversation. It was a great conversation, and we spoke about just how she encouraged me in strengthening my faith and just all kind of things. It was a great episode. Sharon has an amazing voice, so it was really enjoyable to have her there. And we shot in my house, and it was funny because Sharon is also afraid of cats. I have 2 cats, so both of my cats um must have known that Sharon didn't like cats and felt the need to come out and walk across the back of the sofa. And then my other cat had the need, he wouldn't stop just being annoying until I let him get into, and it's like he wanted to get perfectly into the frame, because then he put his head down and he stared into the camera and then he was fine. He stopped bothering her. But it was really, it was just funny how my cats, they're like, you guys are in my space. Either way, it was a good chuckle. And Sharon, I hope she was able to overcome a little bit of her fear of cats, because my cats was very invasive. So sorry, Sharon, and shout out to Sharon, just for always being my friend. Like, thank you, I appreciate you. So check out this clip, and check out the clip, but watch the whole episode. There we go. This is what I want to ask you about friendships. Sometimes for me, like what I felt like, if I knew someone for a long time, that I needed, like, I had to save that friendship. Like, oh, this is someone that I known for a long time. I've known her for 20 years. Like, and you accept more, and
Yes.
you do more, and you take more, until you finally realize I've outgrown this person.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I am notorious for holding on to a friendship. Recently I've come to the grips that I can't do that because it's not being true to me and it's just uncomfortable. So I don't believe, like you said before, everyone is in your life for a reason and a season, and they don't need to become come with you in the whole journey. And I am okay with that now, but it did take me a very, very, very long time because I'm someone who's loyal, and I expect that same loyalty. And if there's an issue, I expect you to come to me and let's try to resolve it. And if we can't resolve it, I do not have any animosity towards you. I wish you well in life. But we need to just go our separate ways and we can just be cordial. And I've come to grips, like I said, in my big adult age with that now because it was something that I would hold onto a friendship no matter what. And it wasn't making sense.
Yeah, in Tyler Perry's book, he gives this analogy of um, friendships being like a tree,
Mm-hmm.
and you have leaf friends,
Mm-hmm.
you have branch, I think it's branch friends, and then you have root friends.
Mm-hmm.
Your leaf friends come for season,
Yes.
and at the end of the season,
They're
they
gone.
leave. Your branch friends stay around long enough, like they don't last all the storms
Mm-hmm.
because you see in a hurricane or whatever, their branches break.
Yeah.
So you have some friends who will be on for a while, and then a real hard storm will come and they'll
That's
break
it.
away,
Mm-hmm.
and those are your branch friends. And then you have some friends that are deep root friends, like tree roots grow deep.
Yes.
They allow the tree to stay grounded into the ground, and if you get one or two of those, then you're blessed.
Absolutely.
I want a friend like Gail. Oprah only got Gail.
Yeah.
Oprah don't run around with 1,000 people, and she's Oprah.
Yep.
Oprah got Gail and Tyler Perry.
Yeah. That's true.
I got a Gail and a Tyler Perry. Okay, which one is which? I don't know because I just called her Moses and she said she Esther because my friends are way. I mean, don't get me wrong. Oprah is looking fabulous.
She looks fantastic. I saw her the other day. I was like, I need what she's eating. She looks amazing.
She's rich.
I
Okay.
know.
Billionaire people do.
Oh my
Billionaire
God.
people, I think they know where the fountain of youth
She
is.
looks amazing.
I was like, wow.
Yes. And I do admire her friendship with Gail, like you were saying. They have their friendship stood the test of time, which I think is so important, like you said, because there's gonna be times when you don't get along with your friends, just like a relationship with a partner. But you should be able to reconcile that, right? If that's someone who you truly consider a friend, they should be there with you no matter what. I love that. Her and Gail got her business going, and Oprah is who she is. Gail is not on her level
But
success
you know
wise,
they're friends.
but they're friends, and you see that, and I love that. Like that's to me is a friendship.
Yeah, because I can't remember what I seen some maybe some interview,
Mm-hmm.
and she was talking about I think they went somewhere or they did something, and Michelle Obama has lots of friends.
Yeah.
And Oprah's like, these all your friends? Like, how you got so
Yes,
many
I remember
friends? You
seeing
seen
something like that. Yes,
And
yes.
Yeah, I don't remember what I saw it on, if Michelle was talking about it or
Yeah, I
Oprah
saw
was
that.
talking about it. I'm saying Michelle like that's my friend. Michelle, yes. Michelle. She was talking about she got all these friends.
Yes.
And Oprah was like, I got Gail.
Yes.
So, I mean, listen, if you have 14 friends or one friend, I'm being more choosy
Yes.
about who I want to have as my friend, who I allow in my space, who I give my time to,
Mm-hmm.
and not feeling bad when I have to walk away.
Yes.
And I don't care if it's a 20-year friendship, a 5-year friendship, a 2-minute friendship.
Mhm.
I've met some people, who 2 years, 3 years in there, they've, we've bonded and grown friendships that are stronger than friendships that
Yeah.
I've had for longer periods of
Mhm.
time. So,
Same here.
I like to get your perspective because I know that I'm the cutoff queen. You have friends that you have had for way longer periods of time. So I just want to get the perspective of that because I know a lot of people feel like because they've been friends with someone for a long time that they have to
Right.
remain friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not always the case.
So yes, I have two cats. I'm not a cat lady. I think that maybe having more cats than two might make you a cat lady, but I don't know. Who cares? Either way, I have two cats, and my first season we shot in my house. And normally when people come over, my one cat is more, he wants to be there, but he's not like all over the place, and the other one goes and hides. Well, this one um, wanted to be on camera, so he annoyed me until he got into frame. And then another time, my oldest nephew, we did an episode, and he is allergic to cats. So we put the cats up. I made sure everything was vacuumed, clean, everything, the house was good so that he wouldn't have, any attacks. And the cat must have assumed, not assumed, but sensed that he also too was just not into cats and proceeded to walk across him, mess with the mic, just be annoying. So these clips are for all the cat people and just for people who maybe think cats are not that great and see how funny mine are. So here's some clips on my cats being really, really, really annoying. I don't know why both of them just keep bothering you.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, wow, you just disrespectful. You're just going to step on him.
Anyway.
Yep.
Now listen, we're filming in my house, right? And I have 2 cats. And my 2 cats, normally one of them goes and hides and the other one sits like he's doing now, minding his business. But the one cat that knows Sharon does not like cats keeps coming outside and bothering her. Literally, he's getting on my nerves right now. It's just annoying because he doesn't. Now he's sitting. Now he wants to sit down. Are you gonna sit down and just sit down?
As long as you
If
just
you
stay,
sit
stay
down,
right
then you
over
can
there.
stay.
Just stay
But if
right
you
there.
think you're gonna be climbing up, just sit down. There.
There we go.
Can you see him? Just leave him near. Because if you don't leave him near, he's gonna this is my friend. This is my annoying friend. This is my annoying little cat friend. I don't know what spirit from who is in him, but he's annoying. Come on,
Uh-oh, I didn't think.
Winston. It's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
He was just fixing it for you.
He was just fixing it. Thank you, Winston.
Thank you, Winston.
So in my season 1, I had a friend of Tanya's, and Tanya's was my executive producer for season 1 and season 2. And she referred me to one of her friends, a longtime friend, Vincent Shelby. And he was so dope that we ended up doing a 2-part episode. We sat on my sofa and talked for almost 3 hours. So we broke the episode up into two parts, and it was really great because he spoke about a depression that he fell into after the murder of his nephew. And we just talked about our families, his mom and his sister and their drug addiction. And I spoke of my father's drug addiction. And the clip that I'm going to show is just it's him talking about his sister's reaction to when the nephew that passed away is her son, and what she said. And when I rewatch it, it kind of gave me an aha moment. Not even an aha moment. It kind of gave me a piece for just trying to understand my father as growing up with a father who was addicted to drugs. So this clip was really it was really deep when we just spoke of the conversation that his sister said. Just speaking of not being ready to face all the stuff that she's done and face her demons, and why it's easier just to to take the other route of drugs. And it's really deep. So check it out. Check out the whole episode. It was really great to just speak to someone who was so smart, and we just vibed, and the conversation was so great that we ended up making it into 2 parts. And we spoke about relationships, and we spoke about him being raised by his grandmother, and just with him being raised by his grandmother, how he's picked up what we would say feminine ways. So he's super clean, and he knows how to cook, and he keeps himself clean and well maintained all the time. So we spoke about that, and it was just such a great conversation and refreshing. And I didn't know him. This is Tanya's good friend from college, and she referred to, and we spoke like we knew each other for years. It was a real great conversation, and he spoke about just falling into a depression and what that feels like, and how a lot of us probably go through that same feeling, and we don't realize it, or we don't want to label it for fear of judgment. But depression is a real thing, and a lot of us fall into it. But there is hope, and there is ways, and there is methods, and there is God, and that's how that's the way. So we it's a real deep conversation, and he was dope. So check out this clip, Vincent Shelby, and let me know what you think. Crack was something that just
I'm telling you,
it changed the dynamic of Black families all across the world.
It's by far, because although we're in this century, that drug still affected this century. That's 3 decades,
Yeah.
decades of family of living, and that's still affecting people. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's really crazy. So I see my sister on Christmas. It was amazing to see her because I love her, you know. But to still see her in that condition is heartbreaking every single time.
I'm sure.
Every single time. Every
I'm
single
sure.
time.
But then you understand how she ended up how she is, and from your mom.
Yeah. One dope thing I can say about my sister though is when my nephew passed, I had asked her, I said, what? Because she was in the rehabilitation center for drugs. So while she was in there and my nephew passed away, she ended up going back on drugs. So I asked them, just like, what made you go back on drugs? Was it the fact that Zion died? She was like, yo, honestly, I could sit here and lie to you and tell you, yes, I'm doing it because he died, but I will be lying to you. I'm telling you I'm doing it because I want to do it. She was like, yo, Vincent, don't burden yourself. Did so much that I mentally am not prepared to check into reality. So this is why I'm doing this right now. And when she told me that,
It made you disconnect. It made
blew
you
my
not
mind.
feel bad
Yeah,
for
it
disconnecting.
blew my mind. I said, yo, I needed that. I needed that. For my journey of healing and depression, I needed to stop feeling sorry for you. I need to stop feeling sorry for, like, why is my family not on top? Why is my family not like this? I need to start feeling sorry for me because the decisions is me. Once she told me, like, yo, don't feel sorry for me. Feel sorry for you. You have to handle your life. And I thought that was so amazing.
She was able to say, listen, I'm not going to stop doing this.
Yeah, this is my choice.
And that's the part that people don't understand. And even for myself, like with my father being a drug addict throughout my whole life, that was never explained. So when someone is on drugs and they're your parent or yours, you think that it's you.
Yeah.
Initially, we
definitely.
always think that we are the reason, we contributed to this or that someone contributed to that. But really, people go through their own things. We don't know. Like, we know
They're fighting their own demons.
what we're introduced to. You know, when I was born in 1980, so my who knows? My father was in Vietnam. My father grew up in Harlem. My father is also a black man in America.
Yeah.
If I'm the 5th generation of free slave, that means that he's 4. That means there's not very,
Yeah, what he was dealing with the third.
Yeah.
And what the third was dealing with the second. So I get what you're saying.
So it's like, you don't think about that. You just have these expectations that your parent is supposed to be your parent.
The best parent.
Yeah, from what you see on the Huxtables and what you see in,
it's not true.
Family Matters and what you see in the perfect family on your block. Because there's
That's
always
not
that
true.
one perfect family on the block.
Oh, so these are my, I just want to say this too. Shout out to my mom. These are my new mugs. So The View, my mom is she's retired, so she has time to watch all the talk shows. So she watches The View and she watches Tamron Hall and she watches Sherry Shepherd. And I'm sure, I don't even know what else she watches, but she watches a lot. So she bought me my first set of mugs, and I'm sure you always see everyone drinking. So shout out to my mom. But she, just recently, The View got new mugs. So my mother felt that I needed new mugs. So she, had me send her all these different pictures, and she bought me, she created this new mug for me. So she created enough so that I could gift them to my guests. So shout out to my mom for just, thinking that I'm The View, because I think I'm The View too. This is my talk show. So shout out to my mom for my mugs. She watches. She is an avid watcher. We get into arguments and fights over things because a lot of what I'm doing here is revealing me, and in revealing me, it's revealing her. But it's gonna be great. Like, we have great conversations based off it. We get into tips over it. She's definitely made me look at change in a way. And I used to be a person who was afraid of change, like, doing things the same. I'm a planner. I like to do things that are routine. I pack the same way. I do things the same way. It's just easier for me to have a routine. I was not someone who was really for change. But things have been changing for me so drastically that I'm learning that change is necessary. So even with my phone, I don't want the new iPhone, but I need to stay up with technology. So it's like, whatever. But my whole point in saying that is that I've been fighting with my mom, not so much fighting, but like fighting with my mom to get her to change, right? So that to get her to change. She's never going to change. She has been who she is. I have to learn to accept who she is, right? Which I'm learning to do, even though we still get into it sometimes. And with that, with me just taking on that mindset now, I'm able to look at the things in my mom that I know that are in me that I need to change and change them so that I could be a different person and a different example for my nephew so that then he could conduct himself in a different way and then change will happen that way. Change doesn't just happen in one person. It starts with one person and then it grows through. So for me, as someone who prays to have the generational curses broken in my family, prayer is not gonna just I gotta pray and then I gotta work. So I'm saying this to anybody else who, because I just feel like as I talk to my friends, we all feel the same way about just how our parents' generation and the things that they went through and how it affected how they raised us. So we're trying to do things differently so that we can, do better. And it's interesting, but we have to be the change. We can't look for them to change. We will be frustrated waiting for them to change. We will be frustrated waiting for them to understand, waiting for them to take accountability, waiting for them to say sorry. Let it go. And I'm saying this too as advice to people and to myself, because it's important. Like I wanna be different so that my nephews could be different so that we could advance and grow. But I'm learning that it's gonna start with me. My mom is her age. I'm not gonna say her age on camera, even though she looks amazing. You would never think that. But just not looking for them to change, just trying to recognize the things in them that I see in myself and then letting me be the change. So shout out to my mom for changing my mugs because she saw the view change theirs. And I didn't even think people really paid attention to the detail, but my mom, I guess, is paying attention. So shout out to my mom for these new mugs.
We're at the studio. And this is where Mia does her recordings. Yeah. And so we're here to support and watch. So sit back and relax. Peace.
4, 3, 2.
And we're out.
All right, so I work for all those who know and who've been watching, and I say this all the time, but I like to say because I feel like there's always new people who need to catch up. So in my daytime life, I work in film and television. I'm currently a wardrobe supervisor. I worked as a costumer, and a costumer is just someone who is responsible for maintaining the costume. Whatever clothes you see on TV are chosen by a designer. And I'm the person who helps to just make sure that those clothes stay in the way that the designer has visioned, if that makes sense. Either way, in this career, I've worked with some really amazing actors. And me and one of the actors that I worked with, Nicholas Pinnock, who was the main actor who played an actor on the television show called For Life, which was based off of a true story about a guy who was sentenced to time in jail, who was able to become a lawyer while he was in jail, then get himself out of jail. And then, while he was in jail, became a lawyer and helped other people get out of jail, and then got himself out of jail. And he's currently still a lawyer, helping people, fight their cases, which was such an amazing story. I went for 2 seasons. I worked with him as his dresser and costumer for the 2 seasons, and we formed a relationship. He is super dope. He's a great friend. He listens. We have a great understanding. He's just a great person. So he was here working on a show, and he was able to give me some time, and he came and he loved what I was doing, and he called me and he was like, would I like to do another episode? And I'm like, of course. And he wanted to talk about, the words black and nigger. And it's very interesting for me. Not even interesting. It was very eye-opening for me, because I just, it's become such a common word in our vocabulary that we don't really think about. We don't really think about it. So it was really a great conversation. just about the power of our words and the power of the tongue and what we call ourselves and what we label ourselves as, and you know, it was a great conversation. Me and Nicholas have always had really good conversations. He is from London, so he grew up. You have to watch the episode to find out when he grew up. But he's super dope, very well educated, but he has really deep thoughts, and me and him really get into these really deep conversations, and the conversation birthed the episode, and the episode was great. He's a really, 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 really kind person. One of the kindest people, and I say this all the time, he's one of the kindest people that I've ever met, because I got to see him in some stressful moments where he could have been someone else, and he's been consistently kind throughout. So shout out to Nicholas for giving me. He gave me 2 episodes, and the second one also too went for like maybe 2 hours. It was just great conversation, and we spoke about, just the power of the tongue and what we call each other and what we call ourselves and how we think of ourselves, and it was great. I love Nicholas. So shout out to Nicholas Pinnock, one of my really great friends that I was able to acquire during my career as a costumer.
Think about what that means, and again, how we identify ourselves and allow ourselves to be identified compared to how people see us.
Yeah.
And how people see us is partly how we present ourselves.
That is true.
So if we present ourselves as Black, which again, you look at what it means in the dictionary and you understand that it is just a color. And actually, technically, it's not actually the color that we are, because if this is Black, then what color is this?
And then we get offended when someone says, I'm like, no, I'm brown. Or if you call someone who's light-skinned Black, they're like, no, I'm light-skinned.
Yeah.
So it's like we wanna identify, but we still want to be separate.
Yeah.
When it's obvious, like, we're not white.
Yep.
And it doesn't really matter what you are, because if you're not white, you're not white.
Yes. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So that just makes sense. So even when you brought it up, it's like my mind had already been starting to think about the Black part. Like, all right, you're Black. That's obvious. You're American.
Yeah. And the thing is, most white people don't identify themselves as white either. They identify themselves as attached to somewhere where their ancestors or they came from.
That is true.
And then whenever they do identify themselves as white, it's only by proxy because we're Black. And again, looking at what white means in the English dictionary and has done for centuries, and looking what Black means in the English dictionary and has done for centuries, they're completely different. So being identified as white, they don't even think about the ramifications of that. The label of that means nothing to them. Mm-hmm. But when you look at how the label was completely designed to marginalize and separate us, you think about why we're still doing that now and why it's still being done now. And these are the questions that, I would like to put out there to all of us, basically, to discuss, but not to feel offended by.
Yeah, and it's not, he's not, I don't feel like he's taking, even when you asked me, I didn't feel like you were taking, like you were questioning my Blackness, or I just felt like, because even with you are British.
Yeah.
People say, what do they call you? English.
See, I don't like being called English.
See, people say, oh, he's English. Yeah. And you say, no, I'm British.
I'm British, yeah. Because to be English literally means to be of England, and I'm not of England. My parents are Jamaican. My lineage is a mix of all sorts of other things. I was born in England, but I'm not of England. Mm-hmm. And the English don't see me as English. They see me as British, because, whether you're Scottish, Irish, Welsh, you are those separate nations, but as a collective, you're British as well. Mm-hmm. And so anybody outside of there who's born there is considered British and will never be considered English. Mm. And there's some debate about that. Some people, go, no, but I am English. But no, there's no way you can be, because you're not of England. You can be born there, you can be from there, but you're not of there. Mm. And again, it's about, like we were saying earlier, words are really important. Mm-hmm. And you have to understand the language you're speaking to understand what is meant by of and from.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm British. But then some people will say, but you're Black British. You go, well, what does that mean?
Because you're Black. That's obvious.
Right, exactly. Even still, what does that mean? No one else is, brown British or yellow British or white British. They're just
British.
British or Asian British or whatever. They're, again, attached to a nation or a continent, but not just a color. And it almost feels like, when I was thinking about it, that in all of the history of our people, we are being further reduced to something insignificant. We're being reduced to being called a color and not attached to anywhere. So there's no sense of belonging or a history of pride, because there's no history of Black. There's history of African, there's history of the Caribbean, all kinds of things. And that's rich in culture and history and identity and belonging. Black as a color was deliberately put on us to further marginalize us. It was designed that way. Some of the questions are, why have we accepted that so freely? And why are we still putting that out there? Because it's still marginalizing us. It's still separating us. And in an age of equality, how is that then equal? So, lots of questions.
No, and I mean, it sparked the interest in me, because I'm just like, as I'm really trying to be very mindful of my words, I'm like, I have to be mindful of my words across the board. My favorite saying is to say, it has to go together in a sentence. So if I'm going to be this confident podcast host and wardrobe supervisor, and I know I could do anything, and I'm created in the image of God, why would I want to, attach anything negative to myself? And it's nothing, I feel like sometimes and this is just for me, I can speak for myself, like, slavery was such a horrific thing that you don't want to attach yourself to something so horrific. So you feel like, oh, I'm not American, because Americans and Black people, you just assume, not assume, but your first thoughts are slavery.
Yeah.
You came, your ancestors were slaves or whatever the case may be. But all right, that's what happened. We cannot change that. There's nothing that we can do about that. But I could take pride in the country that I know my family has built.
Mm-hmm.
We got land in South Carolina.
Absolutely.
My mother has worked really hard for the company that she worked for. I worked really hard. I mean, if we poured into this country and we know that we built it and we say that, then why don't you want to be proud enough to call yourself where you're from?
Yeah.
A lot of people Jamaicans came from Africa. They got dropped there too, but they take pride in calling themselves. We're the only person who don't take pride in calling ourselves Americans.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how people feel, or, because you have to be very deliberate with what you say, because someone will take one little word. But when I thought about it, I said, people will take what they want to take from it. I hope they take something good, but the conversation needs to be had, because it's important.
It's the conversation needs to be had in a safe space where there's no need for people to be defensive, no reason for people to take offense. It's a discussion, it's a conversation. Now, I'm not sitting here saying, because this is what I think and feel, that's the way forward and I'm right. What I'm saying is, I think these are the things that have been going through my head. I would like to discuss it with other people that
to see how they
look
feel.
like me and see how they feel and try and understand it as a whole. Because if there is an understanding and there's a shift in the consciousness that we have, and there could be a different way of us being seen and represented in the world that is more positive for us, then why shouldn't we look at maybe doing that? And that is how we are called and what we are perceived and how we are, considered.
Yeah, no, it's important. It's important to me also too, just because as I'm sitting here and this is a legacy I'm leaving. Once you put something out into the World Wide Web, it's going to be there for forever. People could look this up forever. So I'm very intentional about what I say, but I felt like us speaking about this today is planting the seed.
Absolutely.
And it might spark an interest in someone else, and it might cause a conversation or a debate, or even if it causes an argument, I don't care what it causes, it's going to cause something. And it's going to spark an idea in someone's head that maybe it might change the way. I spoke to my youngest nephew about it, and I know he's thinking about it, because now he's saying the words to get on my nerves, which is funny, but it means that he's thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's all I need. Like, that's all we need to do is plant the seed. God will water it.
Well, luckily,
and that's what
everybody
we're doing.
I've spoken to this about has continued to think about it in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. Some have completely disagreed. Some have completely agreed. And others are still thinking about it.
And that's what we ask. Just think about it. And if you don't think that, I mean, what we're saying, that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their
absolutely.
opinion, but we don't want you to be mean. I don't need I don't even read the comments for that point. I mean, for that part, like what I'm doing this for is not for the comments. It's for me to spark one little thing. If I could spark one little thing, change one little mindset, make someone think, let me not say that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then he came back again this season, and we just spoke about his life, like where he was at. And this season, I was speaking to all of the dope men that I know, as I am just trying to understand where men are now. They're not where we were before. Everyone has grown, and we're all different. So just trying to learn where they are now. I've had a lot of the men that I feel are dope on the show. So we talk about, just all kind of things, but I do ask, what do they need? Because I find just in myself, in my, in my dating life, or just in my life in general, just with friends and people, we don't really say what we need. So I asked him, what he needed from his family, what he went and what he doesn't need, because also too, we don't know what you don't need or what bothers you, or so it was a great conversation. We spoke about what his dreams are and what college he wants to go to, which gave my whole family a sigh of relief, that he has a plan, so that now we all took action, and I'm the college committee, so now I got to set up the visits and make sure that the essays get written. And my youngest nephew is going to high school, so he wants to go to he's the athlete of the family, so he wants to go to a high school, a Catholic, well, not a Catholic, no, a Catholic high school. I'm correct, a Catholic high school. So he's been preparing for that, preparing for baseball, working out, practicing, writing, and I've been helping him write his essay. So it's interesting. So we just kind of kicked it. He's learning how to drive. I've driven with him. I let him drive my car. He's actually a really good driver. He's actually a really great driver, and he can drive my car with me in it anytime. So shout out to Maddie for supporting me and for being just being you. It was dope. It's dope that he's never been on camera, so he came in and he was kind of like, wow, this was his first experience being on camera, because before we were at my house. So it was dope to have my oldest nephew, and this is gonna live forever. It'll be a video of me and my nephew just talking about his life, and I can't wait for the things that he spoke of to manifest, and for us to go back to those videos and see, like, Maddie, remember when you were just talking about your clothing line? Now look what you're doing, and look how much you've accomplished, and look. It's gonna be great. So I can't wait for that. So check out these clips from that episode about Maddie driving in his dreams. Yeah.
Whatever.
Exactly. Can you come pick me up? Everyone's gonna be calling you.
Yeah, I can't wait. I really cannot wait to drive.
Listen, I'm happy that you feel that way.
I can't wait. But I'm not gonna lie, like, when you're in the driver's seat, the road is a little nerve-wracking. Like, it's a little nerve-wracking. And I didn't expect that.
What did you expect?
I just expected it to be like, up in a car, we'll driving, chilling, listen to whatever I'm listening to. Like,
You thought we just get in the car and we're just like, oh yeah, just cruising, like.
Yeah, because that's what y'all make it look like. And I just be like, oh, that's it.
And then you got in the car and you're like, oh shoot.
Because it's so many factors into driving. Like, it don't even have to be you. The car mechanics, easy. Everybody else, though, oh, nah. It's like, it's just so, like you got to be on edge all the time. Like,
and when you have to remember, too, we've been driving for a long time.
Yeah.
So over time, it gets better, but
I don't know, like, it just be like, whoa, hold on. It's just mad nerve-wracking. I didn't expect that at all.
You thought it was just gonna be easy
I
sailing.
thought it was gonna be chilling, easy. Just look here, look there, look behind you, whatever. No, you gotta stop short. People be jumping out in the road. Little kids be running around. People try to cut you off. Like, I literally just got my permit not too long ago. People already cutting me off, honking the horn. I'm just like, all right, like, chill out, relax. Yeah.
Already honking the horn?
Already. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I almost drove somebody off the road the other day. But we're not gonna talk about that because I'm learning.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful, but gosh.
I was switching the lane and I didn't see him in my blind spot.
Blind spot.
And he came mad fast around, next to me and started honking the horn, scared the hell out of me. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, now you know, right? Now that's how you learn your blind spot.
Mm-hmm.
Your blind spot.
Yeah. So.
Good. Well.
I didn't realize it was that. It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, so you see a lot of the stuff that we do with ease takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah, it makes me feel good. Like, I love being black. I'm proud to be black. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. But you forgetting you half of something else.
Oh, and I'm Puerto Rican too.
Let's not forget he's Puerto Rican and black. Let me ask you one more question. Let me see. What is your biggest win so far in life and your biggest loss? And there's no timeline, so it doesn't have to be in life. It could be for the day, it could be just in general. Like, what do you feel like one of your biggest accomplishments are, and what do you feel like one of your biggest loss is?
So, one of my biggest accomplishments is that I'm able to communicate the way I do in the way I express myself. I'm glad I could do that without being, angry and stuff. And then I'm also glad I had the confidence to just walk into a room and my presence just goes off. Because
you are 6'4".
Exactly.
And a big dude.
So it's just like, I love that. But one of my biggest losses is like the way I've acted in the past and the way I've said some stuff I said to people wasn't the greatest. And I do kind of regret that because my mouth is reckless. Like, so when I get upset, and you'll know I get upset. So
and where did you learn that from? It is very important to pay attention to how you act in front of your children, in front of your nieces, your nephews, cousins, because what you think they are not watching, they are watching. And Maddie made me realize that in his memory of things that happened, and I'm like, ooh, he remembered that. So it's hard for me to get upset with him for reacting in a way that I reacted. So for me now, as I don't have any children, but for me, and knowing that I'm a big influence on my nephews, how I act is important to me. So it makes me think twice. And when I give him advice about something, it's funny because I'll give you advice about something and then God will give me the situation to test me to see if I'm listening to what I'm saying. Advice. So I'll give him advice about his parents, like, no, you can't. And then I'll go and it'll happen to me with Gigi. And then it's like, all right, you gotta apply what you say because he's watching, and it's important to me to make sure that I conduct myself in a way because he is watching, and not only the good but the bad. And I've watched him be able to go through situations and navigate his way through in the way that I've navigated myself through, and it makes me proud. So it makes me want to just walk in a better way because I know that I'm a big influence. And you don't think about it when you're doing something or when something's happening, but just like how I was a big influence on Lauren, you're a big influence on your brother. And even though he's a man of few words, because Peyton is a man of few.
He don't even talk. He don't like to talk for real.
No, he is a man of few words.
A man of few words.
But when he does say those few words,
like,
yo, you be like, you was listening?
Like, and you don't even realize because he don't even like. It don't even look like he's listening.
No, he never looks like he's listening. He looks like he's in his own world. But when
Peyton be tapped in.
Whew,
Peyton be tapped in. Like, it blows my mind. He be tapped in. I just be like, how you just?
And he'll say 2 or 3 words of one sentence, and you be like, oh shoot.
Oh, he listening.
Oh yeah, he listening.
Oh yeah.
He listening.
You don't sleep on him. He listening.
Listen.
Because like even when I was with my friends one time, he was with us. We was talking. I was like, he was listening to our whole conversation. He remembered the names. He asked us who this was. I was like, oh, but he wasn't talking the whole time.
All right. So I had some really, really, really great women, some really, really great friends, that came on, and I had a friend coworker, Joy T. Lane, and Joy came on. And Joy is one of the most humble, like, she's just a sweet person, like very kind, very it's just a piece that she just exudes. Like, she's just dope. So Joy came and did my podcast, and we're just casually speaking, and she's like, yeah, I do hard money loans to da 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 blah blah blah. And I'm like, what? Like, Joy, so you're the bank? And she just kind of casually was like, yeah. And I had never I know people with money, and I've met people that have tons of money and all that kind of stuff, but she said it in such a way like, yeah, no, I'm the bank. It was crazy. So check this clip out, but watch the whole episode because it was really inspiring just to see her perspective on monetizing everything and tapping into your talents. And we worked together. We met on a show called Blind Spot. She was the script supervisor, who is the person who is responsible for keeping track of all the words and making sure that the words and the time. It's a really very intricate job. But Joy was the script supervisor, and I've known her because this will be my 10th year in film and television. And she's a director now. Like, she's a director. Like, she is a director. Like, she's directed episodes. Directed. So it's just great to see people dream and see their dreams accomplished. We've had many conversations about things that we wanted to do, and just to see the things that she spoke of come into to be is just great. And just being the bank, I'm like, damn, girl, you the bank? Like, people, I never had, that was not a finance goal of mine, but I'm like, yes. But I guess if you say I will lend and not borrow, there you go. So check these clips out with Joy, and just check out Joy's page also too. Go to her Instagram. This is her Instagram. Check out her Instagram, because she is doing she does these actor classes, and she has a whole list of things that she's doing that are so amazing. So check those things out, support her, and check out the episode and let me know what you think. Financially, it's definitely a struggle, because when I first came in, I was young. I was exposed to so much. I had the most money I've ever had in my life. I've had no money from that. I've gone up. My ups and downs are so drastic, and like, I'm up, and then I'm down. I'm up, and then you hit a pandemic, and then you're up again, and then you hit a strike, and then it's like, okay, I'm about to drown. How do you sustain yourself financially in this? And you've been in television, the entertainment industry, television for a while. So what advice can you give to us? Or what is it that you do to maintain?
I got to be honest with you. That's one of the things that I wish somebody would have told me before entering the entertainment industry, because I think a lot of times people just assume that everyone's
rich,
balling, and that's not the case. And so I will be honest, I started investing. So what I do pretty much, what I've done, and I'm just trying to figure out where to start, because I didn't know it. It took a lot of the ups and downs for me at first to figure out you need another plan. I am not necessarily motivated by money, but I don't want to be broke. And I also don't like someone dictating to me when I'm going to get paid. So I've never liked the whole idea of I got to rely on you to hire me and give me a check. Because when you let me go, or when we're no longer working, then I'm left without any income coming in. So what I started to do very, very early on was trying to figure out, how can you bring in some multiple streams of income? And that is where it started. So I started to invest in real estate. So I bought property in New York. At the time, it was like 2008 when the housing market crashed. And I was like, I've got some saved money. Make sure I had saved the money. At the time, they were given certificates. If you take this home ownership class, we'll give you, $16,000 towards, buying a house and closing costs. So I took all those classes and I bought my first property, a brownstone. And instead of making the brownstone and completely mine, what I did was I was like, all right, you're going to live on the ground floor. You're going to make it 2 different apartments. You're going to make it 3. So I was on the ground floor. Then I had 2 other apartments. So after that, I continued to buy property. Not only that, but I started getting into investment. And I started getting the rooms that most people don't even get into. I joined some investment clubs, and I really started to go all out. So how I do it, it's like, where do I, because I get so excited about it, and I know we got like a certain period of time, but.
Don't worry, we could come back and do a whole episode on investing.
So one of the things was, and it's funny because at the time when I did the real estate, I had met a guy and he wanted to get into business. And I was like, let's learn together. And that didn't work very well at all. I think he wanted to just, hey, you hand me the money and then I'll just do everything. And it was like, no, I kind of want to learn. So I started to actually read a lot of books. And so now I am in multiple investment clubs, and I have multiple properties, and I do like housing loans. It's funny, like someone can come to you and say, hey, I need like $100,000 to finish off this townhouse development. And I'm like, okay. And we make a deal. Okay, I'm going to give you this $100,000. In return, you're going to pay it back 3 months, 4 months. You're going to pay an additional 22%, you know. Kind of like a bank, but not a bank.
That's
pure
a bank.
lending.
Okay, that's the bank. Okay, we're going to just call a duck a duck. That is the bank. You're your own bank.
I am my own bank.
I want to be my own bank.
I am my
you
own
are your
bank.
own bank.
I am my own bank. And so I have a number of those deals. So I diversify. So I don't just have real estate. I do a lot of those housing development loans where people come to me about that. I have people that are like doctors' offices will say, hey, we need a certain amount of money because our insurance hasn't paid us yet. Can you give us this money? We'll pay you this money. In return, we'll give you, 50% in like 45 days or however long the agreement is. That's what I do. That's income constantly coming in. I also invest in finishing funds for filmmakers. So with that, I help them find distribution for their films. And then again, I invest in finishing funds. And so a lot of times, last one in, first one out, getting paid. So I have diversified a lot. And actually, that helps. And recently, I've gotten into some women's group. There's a women's group called Journey to Wealth that I joined. There's another women's group, Rainbow Collective. But I think the investment group that I like the most, and not that I like the most, but the investment group that I have enjoyed really being a part of is BPMG. And we're like a think tank, very small group. But what we do is we go around and we actually help small businesses grow. So we use our skills and talents that God has given us, and we use them. Like one person in the group, great at marketing. Another person in the group, great at numbers. We all have these different skills. We invest in businesses and help them scale. So we've been doing that for a while. We had a bakery here in Brooklyn that was really just local. We've managed to get them to scale nationally. And so we decided, you know what, we're going to invest in Africa, right? And so we recently took a trip to Africa, and we met with some business people there, and that's a whole different episode. That was a phenomenal trip.
Because I really want to ask you, because I saw some of your pictures on Instagram. I wanted to say, what was your experience in Africa? I've been to Africa, many of places, and my experience they vary. But you got to just give us a little bit.
Transformative. I can say that. It was definitely transformative. It was different going there and not being a minority. They opened up their arms. They opened up their arms so wide for me and welcomed me like as a sister, as a friend. I've walked away and I still have friendships, people that I'm still talking to this day. It was truly, truly an impactful experience. Just truly, just the people, the culture. it was just, I just can't get over it. I can't get over it. It was truly impactful. And that is why when I was there, I was like, we definitely have to invest in Africa, which we have multiple investments there, including starting to work with gold as well. So that's ultimately how I really have diversified and started to invest. And I try to use every skill, talent, and ability that God has given me to monetize it.
All right, then I had some really great girls. I had a friend of mine, Chrystina Peoples, Gabrielle Corney. I had Nurse Noel, who I just have to say this. I need everyone to go check out Nurse Noel's page. Nurse Noel started doing these Wednesday nuggets, and I'm sure I think it's like Wednesday's nuggets or something of the sort. I'm sure I'm probably getting it wrong, but either way, she just gives health tips. She's a nurse. Go check out the episode and you'll see. But she gives out like health tips, like just random things that you think about or that might have crossed your mind, or things that maybe you might be embarrassed to ask your doctor about, or just, I mean, they're really great. You could get lost in her nuggets. So stop on her page. Her Instagram is here. And it's either here or it'll be here. My great editor, Chris, is going to hook that up. I don't know. Oh, Nurse Noel. So check out Nurse Noel's nuggets. Then I had Gabrielle Corney. Gabrielle just released a necklace. She had gifted me this necklace. It's a beautiful necklace. It's like a gold safety pin. Gabrielle, I've known Gabby for a long time. She knew me since I was a youngin' in the industry. And she has been, I've watched her grow into this amazing person. She's a master hairstylist. She's super dope. But she sat, we spoke about just her growth, and we, a little bit about friend breakups, and she also went through some friend breakups and how it affected her, and just also to her relationship with her mom, and choosing herself, and not choosing, the toxicity of a parent, and being able to walk away from a parent to for her own peace. It was deep. It was really a deep conversation, and it made me think a lot about my own mother. And, not saying that my mom is a toxic person or nothing, because she does watch this, and I have to be very careful to make sure that I'm not saying things that hurt her feelings, because it's not what I'm trying to do at all. But, it just made me think about the relationship with my mother, and me knowing like, all right, well, she's not going to change. So I'm going to have to learn how to accept her as she is. And I'm going to have to learn how to just learn how to learn my mom. She's retired now, so who she is who she's gonna be. So it's just also learning her as a new person. So that conversation just made me really deeply think about my own relationship with my mother. So shout out to Gabby. She just made a big announcement on her Instagram page. So shout out to Gabby. Good luck. Love you to death. So check this clip out of Gabrielle Corney. Let's talk about that, because when you said that to me, it just opened up a whole bunch of books. Like, it just, when you open up a book and then all the birds fly out, I was like, wow, I never really thought about that. I never really thought about that, because we talk about, daddy issues and daddy wounds, but moms do, we gain and get things from our moms too. So tell me what even led you to come to that term, or to that realization that you are there.
Because of my friend breakup. My friend breakup opened up Pandora's box. My friend breakup literally showed me my unaddressed mommy issues, because I had allowed women to treat me other than what I deserved. Now, with my permission now, okay? So I'm not a victim, right? I allowed them to treat me, and I treated them in ways that neither one of us deserved, because I was not ready to take on that mommy issue. And I had mommy and daddy issues, but I've made peace with my daddy issues many years ago. Thank God. But that's what uncovered it, because I went through so many stages with the friend breakup. I mean, first of all, I was surprised. I was kind of shocked. And then I was angry.
How long were you guys friends?
27 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yep. I came up with these people. You know, we was broke together. You know, we got money together. We had babies together. We grieved children together, family members. We laughed, we cried. We did all the things.
They became your family.
They were my family. I'm an only child. So they became my family. And when it was my turn to go through something that literally stopped me and my family in my tracks, they kind of ghosted me because I couldn't handle what was happening. It was happening so fast. It was hitting me like snowballs, you know, like an avalanche. And I just needed time and space because I was like, I fought so long my whole entire life to not be here, and I'm here. So I just needed some time, and they ghosted me. And I heard the Holy Spirit speak louder. I've never heard him speak so loud before. And he said, "You ready now?"
Sometimes you gotta let go.
And
my
wasn't.
biggest learning experiences has been from going, all right,
Yes.
all right. I'm gonna let it go. I'm
Yep.
gonna let it go.
He said, "You ready now?" And I said yes, reluctantly, because I wasn't ready. I did not know the ghetto-ness that was upon me.
All right. So as we're rolling it down, I mean, there's so many. I watched so many of my episodes, and I had so many great people. I just want to thank every guest. Tiffany. Tiffany was the leader of a Bible study group that I was in, and we connected, and she did my podcast. And I mean, she spoke about something that was so personal, as being on the other side of the other side of drug addiction. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for Tiffany and Chrystina and Fred and Jorge and Melvin and Halim and Daryl and Torrey. Good friend of mine, Torrey, came. And Anthony Freeman Jr., who by this point I think he's might have had his new little bundle of joy. Look how much has happened in a year. It's just crazy. He did my podcast, my first season in my home. He owns a transportation company called A Free Ride Transportation Company. He is married with 2 daughters, now with a 3rd little boy, which should be here by now. When should be. I have to check and see, but a lot happens in a year. So he came. I've known him since he was maybe 11 years old, and he's a grown man with a family, and we spoke about marriage and his business and, you know, the thriving of his business. He drives Madonna. I like to drop that in because he really didn't understand Madonna, but he understands Madonna now, like how much of an icon, like, you know. But shout out to him for that. I had Brian with Remington and Lamont. He just released he just did a new drop maybe a few weeks ago. I'm sure this is dropping now around Christmas time, so I'm sure he probably has some gems that he dropped. And
I could not receive that. Like, yeah, but if I'm a good mom, why is he doing this? If I'm a good mom, how come his life is turning out like that? Because the reality is, when people see other people in the street, the first thing they do is what type of household you came from?
Yeah, they think you come from a bad mom, or you come from you know, you didn't have parents, or, you know, your situation is messed up. But, and this is why it was so important for me to have you come, because that day, I remember that day, because you still did B group. You still came on after that whole long day of all of that. You still got on and did the B group.
Yeah, because I know I was supposed to be there. Like, God did not tell me not to. And I've had my days where I'll call someone and like, hey, can you leave for today? Because I need to, you know, but I knew I was supposed to be there. But yes, that was the beginning. And then there were days where I did not know where he was. And he didn't have a phone. So there's no way for me to call you. But God was like, it was one young lady who just hit me up in my inbox. And she just like, hey, I saw Dre today. I didn't even ask her. I don't even know who she is, you know. And then
parents are not going to apologize because they're the parent. And, you know, I could just say, like, this morning, you know, I had said something to her and she just looked at me and she walked away, and I was like, I shouldn't have said that. And I had to go and apologize and say, I didn't mean for it to come out, and I shouldn't have yelled at you, but I want you to understand X, Y, and Z. And her whole tone changed.
All right, this is my piece of advice to
What?
you know, to you and to also like people that create. You know, I'm not gonna say watch what you pray for, but kind of watch what you pray for.
No, I agree. All right, so we got a 1 second before we even this. Explain what you mean when you tell
Okay.
people watch what they pray for.
I lost my grandfather, my father's father.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't close to him or anything like that, but I lost him, and I've been like bombarded with work, like a lot of work at home. I've been stuck in the house, and yesterday I'm out and I'm just like, yo, I got so much work at home. I'm like, it's a lot of work, and I stopped myself immediately, and I'm like, but Brian, you prayed for that. And you know what? Just say, God, I thank you. I appreciate you. I thank you for that. You know, because you asked him for that. And he gave you that. And I just kind of feel like, I'm speaking for myself, like a lot of times you'll pray for something, and then when it comes, you're like, dang, man, I got to do this again. I got to do all of this. Not thinking, like, but you
asked for this.
You asked for that.
So then your prayer has to change. God, help me. Yeah. Guide me to those who are going to help me to mass produce these clothes so that I don't have to make so much by myself because I'm tired.
Right.
You know, I'm grateful. I'm just so grateful that people have been watching, people have been commenting, people have been following, people have been liking, and subscribing to watch me. That makes me feel so good. I'm so proud of myself. I am so proud of myself. Thank you. Thank you. I've been bowling for a year. My bowling world is having some little storms, but we're gonna work that through. But I've been consistent. I've been bowling. I'm now getting better. I'm kind of getting the concept of takes a long time. I've never played a sport ever in my life seriously. So for me to be playing something that's physical for a whole year, I'm proud of myself. So as I reflect on this whole year of what I learned, I've learned something from every guest, every episode, from this whole experience, something new. I've learned how to lean on God so much more. Oh my God. I've learned to lean on God. I'm a person who keeps a prayer, like prayer journals. I keep a journal, but I make it into like my conversations with God, like, you know, and I have tons of them. So I name them, I give them names and chapters and name them of seasons and date them and all kind of things. So I've been going back and reading some from January and just reflecting and seeing and just looking at the things that I prayed for and seeing that they came to be, and some of the experiences that I'm going through, and realizing like, ooh, when you pray for God to increase your ability to forgive, he sure does. Because I've been being tested in the ways of, ooh, forgiveness is hard. Forgiveness is hard. Letting go is hard. Letting go of the past is hard, especially when your past was so great. I'm bumping into a lot of people who are, you know, whose past have affected their present so much currently. But I'm super grateful. Aaron Gatson, let me not forget about him because he is my favorite person right now. He did a really great episode with me, and he spoke about the time, his time in prison and what he needed afterwards, and just, you know, just gave me a perspective. Just gave me perspective because I've been through some situations, and I think, not to say that how I reacted or how I acted was fair or not, but when you don't know, you don't know. So now we know. So now I know. So it kind of gave me a little bit of healing also to some situations that I had. So shout out to Aaron. Yeah. So I have I'm grateful. I have a great editor, Chris. Shout out to Chris because I know that I could be a little bit, I'm trying to be more strategic with my planning of time, so that when he has things to do, which I've actually been pretty good. Even with we sometimes I shoot and send him the edit the next day. And then, but we've been pretty good because we've been on time. We've been releasing every Monday. But shout out to Chris, because Chris is he's really helped me a lot. So the editor, Chris, his Instagram is right here. Shout out to Chris. He's been really, really, really holding me down, like super holding me down and making these episodes look amazing. I didn't have any idea how to edit, but I'm learning everything. Shout out to Tanya for doing it all before. But I got a groove. And I'm here. Like, this is dope. I'm reflecting on the year, and I've had some really rough times. I've had some storms. I got beat up a few times. I've lost some fights, but I know that every single thing that I've been through this year, it has contributed to the gratefulness that I have right now. And I'm so grateful. Oh, shout out to Plant Shed, Joe at Plant Shed in Inglewood, for these beautiful flowers. I try to go there as much as I can. I love fresh flowers. And he has some of the most amazing flowers. And he put this arrangement together for me. Shout out to Diana and Lauren, because they are his like favorite people, and because they're his favorite people, I was his favorite people, and he really put that together for me. So it's a beautiful arrangement. Shout out to Plant Shed. Yeah, so I'm that's where I'm at right now. I had all these plans of like I was gonna get a cake, and I was gonna sing, get balloons that said happy anniversary, and I was gonna buy a bottle of champagne, Runard, and I had all these things, and I was gonna wear a dress, like I was gonna wear a super like fancy dress, and I was gonna get my makeup done. I called Joy. I'm like, Joy, can you do my makeup? And then I started adding everything up, and I was like, ooh, girl, that's not gonna happen this time around. So I had to draw back and really just, I could do that later. Like, there's gonna be lots of anniversaries. So this one, I just wanted to have some of my favorite things, and flowers are my favorite things, candles are my favorite things. And just, thank everyone, every person who watches, who saves, who sends, who shares, everyone who's texting me. Like, it's a lot of people that are watching that I don't speak to all the time, but if I do speak to them, they're like, I'm watching, and I'm like, oh my God, it just makes me, it's the most amazing feeling. It's the most amazing feeling. So encourage your friends. Let them know they're doing a good job, especially when they're parenting or when you see that their kids are so great, because I'm sure, like, if that feeling that I get, it's like a fluttery feeling. I'm sure that, I want all my friends to experience that. So make sure you encourage your friends and let them know that they're doing a good job. Yeah, but that's it. Like, I'm ecstatic. I'm so happy. I'm like, I made tons of new friends. Oh, shout out to Wolf. Wolf is the engineer over here, right? Wolf comes. He's dope, and he doesn't know, he's not always available. So my schedule is based around his schedule, but I don't care because he's dope. He just has a great energy, and it allows me to be comfortable to do this, because I'm sitting in the studio and I'm talking to this camera, and there's nobody in here but me and him. So it's like, good thing I have a therapist, and I'm kind of used to talking to a stranger, because it would probably be the worst thing ever, if you weren't nervous. Shout out to my therapist. If you guys haven't been to therapy, and I'm sure, check out the episode with Daryl Paraway, where we talk about therapy, and it's good. For me, what I think prepared me to be able to talk to my therapist is just being able to be open about my situations with other people. And the more I spoke about it with other people made me more comfortable to speak to a complete stranger about it. And then when I did speak to her about things, she was able to give me, she was able to help me to, just to see things in different ways. And I know that's not coming from a place of judgment. And I know that's not coming from a place of, choosing sides, or she knows this one or likes this one, or whatever the case may be. But she definitely has helped me to recognize some patterns and some things in my life that I needed to be able to recognize, to change. And it's been great. And therapy is not something that you go to once or twice or three times. It's a commitment. So I pray for that for all of my friends. But if you haven't gotten to the level of therapy, at least finding a friend that you could talk to, or just someone that when you need to not so much vent, but there's something like I went through a situation and I didn't have anyone to talk to that really, really, truly understood. And when I was able to have a conversation with someone, it was like the weight was lifted off of my shoulders and just being able to let that go. So, I feel like I'm able to talk to people more and not be afraid of like, I don't care what people are going to think. You're going to think, you're going to judge, but sometimes just being able to speak about stuff is how I was able to let things go, to build myself up to, to getting a therapist and maintaining that. Cause I do a therapy session every week, and it's important. Like it has helped me a lot to recognize things in myself, and I can see the change in how I react to situations and just, all around the board. So shout out to my therapist and, for all of my friends who encouraged me to go, and who sent me links, and for, it's just, it's a great thing. So I'm going to always be that advocate. So if you haven't, think about it. If not, I'm going to pray that you do think about it. But shout out to everyone who goes to therapy and who's taken that step. It's a big step. So shout out to you. So as I'm coming to an end. I'm about to go in Jorge Del Toro, who has taken his amazing time. He's about to arrive here. We're going to go outside. He's going to shoot some things. We're going to do a new intro for season 4 next year. So look out for that. Look out for season 4. Check out all my past episodes. Enjoy the clips. Leave me comments. Shout out to everyone who watches, everyone who clicks, likes, and subscribes, who shares, who's been here, who's helped me, who's given me advice, who's texted me, who's poured even a drop, anyone who has just helped me with this throughout this year. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so appreciative. I'm so grateful to God for leading me through. I wanted to do a big thing and have balloons and a cake and a this and a that, and it just ended up being too much. But I felt like if God gave me this idea, I knew that he would, I trust that he's going to give me everything that I need to get to where I need to be, and he has thus far. So it's me and him. And I prayed before I started this that he would lead me, he would guide every word, that he wouldn't let any words that would be hurtful to anyone leave my mouth. And I believe that that's what's being done. So welcome to New and In Between year anniversary. Thank you so much for watching. I'm your girl, Mia Quinn Maddox. Happy holidays, everyone. Please, 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 please go and check out all of my past episodes. If you are on break, it will be a great binge. If you're cleaning, listen, click like and subscribe, share with your friends. Let me know what you think. I have done a year. I am so happy. Check it out. Help me out here. Check it out. New and In Between. Check it out. YouTube. Click like and subscribe. Subscribe. Thanks.